What you're about to hear goes beyond a car reveal. Inside Ferrari's garage, Lewis Hamilton's new SF-26 may be hiding a secret no one outside Maranello fully understands. This isn't a small tweak, it could change how power, aerodynamics, and strategy work in 2026. And later, we'll reveal why insiders are calling Ferrari's biggest gamble, and possibly its scariest. Ferrari is about to reveal the SF-26, a car that represents the team's boldest gamble in decades. But this isn't just a new Formula One machine, it's the product of nearly a year of secrecy, strategy, and extreme focus. Behind the scenes, every decision, from chassis design to aerodynamic packaging, has been optimized to exploit the new 2026 regulations. The story of the SF-26 begins in 2025, a season that proved devastating for Ferrari. The SF-25 underperformed across the board. Hamilton failed to reach a single podium. Leclerc struggled for consistency, and the team finished fourth in the Constructors' Championship. Every failure was amplified by high expectations, creating pressure that extended from drivers to engineers to management. Faced with that reality, Ferrari made a radical choice. In April 2025, the team halted all development on the SF-25 and redirected every resource toward a completely new car. Internally known as Project 678, the SF-26 was designed from scratch to dominate the reset in regulations, a gamble that required sacrificing competitiveness for the rest of the season in exchange for a possible multi-year advantage. The team's timeline has been compressed to the extreme. The SF-26 chassis was finalized just a day before the public reveal on January 23, 2026. That means engineers had minimal room for iteration on critical systems like suspension, cooling, and power integration, creating both urgency and risk. Every hour leading up to the reveal was maximized to ensure the car met design expectations. Hamilton's involvement is deeper than usual. He provided detailed feedback on steering, energy deployment, and chassis balance. His input directly influenced key elements of the car, from the suspension geometry to the design of the steering wheel itself. Leclerc's focus has been on stability and predictability, creating a balance between Hamilton's aggressive optimization and the need for a consistent car. The SF-26 isn't just about speed, it's about control, precision, and a psychological advantage. Ferrari has engineered a car that may appear compliant, but insiders hint that its design pushes boundaries. Rivals will have to interpret what they see, while Ferrari waits quietly to exploit every advantage once the season begins. This secrecy, combined with cutting-edge engineering, is what makes the SF-26 a car everyone will watch closely. Finally, the stakes could not be higher. Ferrari is betting on a car that could either restore Hamilton to championship glory or expose the team to new failures. Every decision, every technical choice, every innovation is under pressure to perform. And yet, the full story, the SF-26's radical features, hidden potential, and what it could mean for the 2026 season hasn't even been revealed to the public yet. The SF-26's heart is its engine, and it may be hiding a secret that could redefine power in 2026. Ferrari has replaced the traditional aluminum cylinder head with a steel alloy version. At first glance, it might seem like a minor change, but insiders suggest it could dramatically improve combustion stability, thermal efficiency, and durability under extreme pressures. This steel head allows higher pressures in the combustion chamber without deformation, meaning the engine can run more aggressive ignition strategies. The result? More energy extracted per cylinder, and a power delivery curve that rivals may not anticipate. It's a gamble that no modern F1 team has attempted in this hybrid era. But the SF-26 isn't just about the engine. Ferrari has returned to double pushrod suspension at both the front and rear, abandoning the pull rod system that caused inconsistency in the SF-25. The suspension is fully passive, yet it behaves almost like an active system under changing aerodynamic loads, a legal trick that could give Ferrari a hidden performance edge. Hamilton's involvement is significant here. His feedback on steering ergonomics, energy management, and chassis balance was implemented directly into the SF-26. This means the car is not only technically advanced, but also tailored to extract maximum potential from its driver's skills, particularly Hamilton's ability to adapt in real time. The SF-26 is being tested in two specifications. Spec A is conservative, aimed at validating systems and ensuring the steel head, hybrid power unit, and suspension work under real track conditions. Spec B, the performance version, is deliberately hidden until official preseason testing in Bahrain, masking the car's full potential from rivals. These innovations suggest Ferrari may be operating on the edge of what the regulations allow. Everything we know so far points to a car that could dominate if everything works perfectly, but one misstep, one thermal stress issue, or one misalignment in suspension could expose weaknesses no one outside Maranello yet realizes. And that's what makes the SF-26 so captivating. On the surface, it looks like a conventional F1 car, but beneath the bodywork is a machine designed to exploit every advantage the rules permit, and possibly even some that FIA hasn't fully anticipated. The real test will begin when it hits the track, and until then, the full story remains just out of reach. The SF-26 is more than just a collection of technical innovations. It's a calculated gamble at the edge of Formula One regulations. The steel cylinder head, compact aerodynamics, and double pushrod suspension each fall within the rules, but together they create a car operating in a gray area. Insiders suggest the FIA is aware and quietly scrutinizing these elements, though publicly they remain neutral. Hamilton's influence adds another layer of intrigue. His input on steering ergonomics, energy deployment, and chassis balance means the car isn't just fast, it's tailored to maximize his skills. But it also creates dependency. A misjudgment by the driver could compromise systems the engineers carefully balanced over months of testing. Sources warn this combination of innovation and reliance on driver skill makes the SF-26 both brilliant and precarious. Timing has been critical. The final chassis approval came just days before the public reveal. Engineers worked around the clock, finalizing critical systems with minimal testing. That's a risk that could pay off with a car perfectly optimized for performance, or it could leave hidden flaws that only become apparent under full race conditions. The SF-26 innovations are subtle but significant. The narrow side pods and compact cooling allow improved airflow to the diffuser, reducing drag and increasing efficiency. Analysts estimate this could save roughly a quarter of a second per lap, a difference that may decide races in 2026. Yet because these solutions are unprecedented, no one truly knows how they will behave across a full season. Psychological strategy is also in play. Leaks from Maranello, intentional or not, may unsettle competitors. Rivals will be forced to guess what Ferrari has hidden, creating pressure that could lead to missteps or risky development decisions. Ferrari's secrecy isn't just technical, it's tactical, affecting how other teams plan before the first race. Past precedent in F1 shows that gray area innovations can provoke mid-season regulatory scrutiny. Mercedes' DS system in 2020 is a reminder. A legal innovation can be questioned, delayed, or even banned after it initially seems acceptable. Ferrari may be counting on the FIA's slow response, hoping to capitalize on an advantage before any intervention occurs. Ultimately, the SF-26 presents a high-stakes scenario. Its success relies on flawless execution from engineers, precise judgment from Hamilton and Leclerc, and cautious handling of FIA oversight. One misstep could erase months of preparation, while perfection could give Ferrari a head start that reverberates through 2026. The full consequences won't be known until the car is on track, and even then, only time will tell how deep Ferrari's secret truly runs. The SF-26 carries risks that are invisible to the public eye. On paper, the steel cylinder head and double pushrod suspension are legal, but in practice, integrating these innovations under full race conditions could expose weaknesses that no one outside Maranello fully understands. Even minor misalignments or thermal stresses could destabilize the car at high speeds, turning Ferrari's gamble into a vulnerability. The compressed development timeline adds another layer of pressure. Finalizing the chassis just before the public reveal left minimal room for iterative testing. Engineers have meticulously planned every simulation, but nothing replaces real-world conditions. Early laps could reveal failures in cooling, energy deployment, or suspension behavior problems that might force urgent adjustments before the season begins. The psychological burden is equally critical. Ferrari's engineers and drivers endured a difficult 2025. Every decision, every test, carries the weight of past failure. Mistakes in judgment or miscommunication under this pressure could amplify minor technical issues into major setbacks. Hamilton and Leclerc will need to navigate these challenges while pushing the car to its limits. Spec A, the validation car, hides the SF-26's ultimate potential. Spec B, the performance version, will only appear in pre-season testing. This deliberate concealment keeps rivals guessing, but it also means Ferrari must rely on incomplete validation data. The gamble is double-edged. They protect secrecy while exposing themselves to unexpected failures once Spec B is run at full pace. The FIA's role adds uncertainty. Publicly, the car complies with regulations, but insiders hint that regulators are aware of the SF-26's unusual features. Gray area technologies can provoke mid-season scrutiny or force component changes. One ruling could force Ferrari to make rapid adjustments, potentially negating the advantages built into the car over months of planning. Rivals are under pressure as well. Leaks and glimpses of the SF-26 create doubt in competitor garages. Engineers are forced to speculate about Ferrari's capabilities, potentially misallocating development resources or overcompensating with risky design changes. In this sense, Ferrari's secret operates as both a technical and psychological weapon, shaping the entire grid before a single race has begun. Finally, the consequences of failure are immense. A single malfunction in the steel head, suspension, or energy management could compromise reliability, race performance, and driver confidence. On the other hand, flawless execution could give Ferrari a decisive edge. The SF-26 represents a balance of brilliance and danger, and the full story won't be revealed until it hits the track. Until then, the team, the FIA, and the entire grid are left in suspense, waiting to see which path this radical car will take. If the SF-26 works as intended, it could completely shift the balance of power on the grid. Early indications from leaked specifications suggest Ferrari may have achieved gains in both engine efficiency and aerodynamic efficiency that could put them ahead of Mercedes, Red Bull, and McLaren before the first race even begins. Hamilton's involvement in development could give him a unique advantage. By shaping energy deployment, steering behavior, and chassis feel, he may be able to extract performance that rivals cannot anticipate. His experience, combined with a car designed around his feedback, could make him a central figure in the early championship battle. The two-spec strategy, Spec A for validation and Spec B for ultimate performance, is particularly clever. Rivals will only see a partial picture of Ferrari's capabilities during early testing. This uncertainty could force them to make development decisions based on incomplete information, potentially misallocating resources or introducing unnecessary risk to their own cars. FIA oversight remains a wild card. While the SF-26 passes all current regulations on paper, the car pushes boundaries in ways the governing body may not have fully anticipated. If mid-season clarifications or rulings occur, Ferrari may be forced to adjust, which could either diminish their advantage or validate the bold engineering decisions they made under secrecy. The psychological impact on rivals should not be underestimated. Leaks, rumors, and glimpses of Ferrari's engineering innovation may sow doubt and create pressure. Competitors might overreact, making design or strategy errors in response to a car they don't fully understand. In this sense, Ferrari's advantage extends beyond pure engineering. It's also a mental game. Yet the stakes remain high. Any mechanical failure in the steel cylinder head, energy deployment system, or suspension could undo months of preparation. Reliability, performance, and driver confidence are all on a knife edge. The SF-26 is a high-risk, high-reward machine where the difference between dominance and disaster may come down to mere fractions of a second per lap. Ultimately, the SF-26 may not just define Ferrari's 2026 season. It could influence how other teams approach engineering innovation under gray area regulations, shift the FIA's interpretation of technical rules, and change the mental and strategic landscape across the grid. The full consequences of this radical car will unfold gradually, race by race, lap by lap, leaving the paddock and fans watching with bated breath. Even as the SF-26 rolls out of Maranello, the story is far from complete. What we've seen in leaks, rumors, and partial data may only hint at what the car is capable of. Ferrari's engineers have pushed the boundaries of innovation, but until the SF-26 hits the track at full speed, the full truth remains hidden. Hamilton and Leclerc enter the season with enormous pressure. Hamilton may be racing for an 8th world title, while Leclerc seeks to cement his status as Ferrari's long-term lead driver. Every lap, every corner, every decision will test the limits of the SF-26 and reveal whether months of secrecy and risk-taking were worth it. The FIA is watching closely, though quietly. Gray area technologies, untested innovations, and compressed timelines make this car a unique challenge for the governing body. A mid-season ruling or clarification could force Ferrari to adjust, potentially erasing months of careful planning or validating their gamble entirely. Spec A and Spec B testing only deepen the mystery. While rivals and fans see the conservative version, the true performance car remains hidden until official preseason tests. This means Ferrari controls the narrative, strategically releasing information in a way that keeps competitors guessing and amplifies psychological pressure across the grid. The risks are significant. One failure, mechanical, aerodynamic, or even human error in energy deployment, could compromise a race or the season. Conversely, flawless execution could deliver a decisive advantage that reshapes the early championship standings. The SF-26 is a high-stakes machine where innovation and danger are inseparable. And the leaks? They may be only the beginning. Sources hint at further undisclosed technologies and strategies that could surface during the season, each capable of altering performance, strategy, and FIA oversight. What Ferrari has revealed so far may be just the tip of the iceberg. Ultimately, the SF-26 represents Ferrari's boldest gamble in decades. It could restore Hamilton to championship glory, redefine competitive strategy for 2026, and influence F1 for years to come, or it could expose the team to failure on a scale they have not faced in decades. The final verdict won't come until the first races, and until then, the paddock, fans, and rivals are left in suspense, waiting to see whether Ferrari's secret will be its greatest triumph or its most frightening gamble yet.